Thank you for joining us this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor, and here are the top stories we're following for you now at noon. Control over the Saline County Library has now shifted to the county judge. In less than 2 minutes, more on the decision made last night and what it means for the library moving forward. Plus, more and more counties across the state are facing burn bans today. A closer look at the wildfire dangers as temperatures continue to climb. And vacationing alone has become more popular, but it's not always safe. A little later, how a new app is helping women feel more secure when traveling. More on those headlines soon, but first, a big talker today is gonna absolutely be this heat. Nathan, I know we're in the middle of the summer, but please say some relief is on its way soon.
Good afternoon, Jurnee. Summer's trying to wind down, at least looking at the calendar, because we're getting into late August and soon to be in September. But yeah, we are in the middle of the sixth heat wave of this summer, and this one could be the most brutal one on the docket. Look at these temperatures already into the low to mid 90s across the board. Blistering sun, just a few clouds making their way through northeast Arkansas. That's where they are going to stay. But you take the combination of those hot temperatures and all that humidity, especially if there's no breeze to evaporate the sweat. Here's what it feels like out there. 106 in the capital city, feels like 109 in Arkadelphia, feels like 103 in Clinton, and 108 is it feels like in Pine Bluff. So no surprise, an excessive heat warning has been issued for all of Arkansas through this evening now. That continues into tomorrow. Here's what you can expect with this dangerous heat wave. The heat's going to stick around through the weekend. This will likely be the longest stretch of 100-degree days that we have seen since 2012. And the heat index could get as high as 116 or 117. But there is some relief as we go into the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know when that arrives and if it comes with a chance of rain coming up.
All right, Nathan. Well, after months of debate over who should control the Saline County Library, a vote officially gives it to the county judge last night. As THV 11 Sarah Bakowitz shows us, the meeting was tense with strict regulations on public comment.
We have 11 yes, 2 no, ordinance passes as amended.
From billboards to the courtroom, a tipping point in Saline County Monday night after a months-long debate over how the library functions comes to a vote.
We must never again allow the Saline County Library to weaponize our tax dollars against the citizens of this county.
You're wanting to remove the decisions of the library from a board and a director that has a master's degree in library science.
In an 11-2 vote, the county judge will now have oversight of nearly all library actions, bringing out dozens in protest. The oversight includes what goes on the shelves, hiring decisions, and budgets, something one court member addressed directly.
I will go on record tonight saying that I will oppose any budget cuts, any defunding of our library.
But defunding and firing current staff is still a concern for the Saline County Library Alliance, who have been protesting this amended ordinance for months.
Our next step is obviously going to be taking that power back, giving it back to the library board where it belongs. We're going to be putting this ordinance one way or the other on the ballot.
Sarah Bakowitz, THV 11 News.
Now, there is a lot of speculation on what the judge overseeing employment at the library means for current leadership, but nothing has been shared officially on that. And the state is now putting more pressure on schools offering AP African American Studies. Secretary of Education Jacob Oliva is now asking all school districts teaching the course to hand over the course material. Secretary Oliva sending out a letter to the 6 schools. In it, he says that to ensure that the districts are complying with the state law, he will need to see what is being taught. This comes after the legislature passed a law prohibiting the teaching of critical race theory. The districts, which include Little Rock, North Little Rock, East Em, Jonesboro, Jacksonville, North Pulaski, they will all have to give the materials to the Department of Education by September 8th. Little Rock police are investigating a homicide from earlier this morning. Officers got the call at 1305 Johnson Street today and found a man who was shot. He later died from his injuries. Homicide detectives are now leading the investigation, and we will have more when we find out. Bryant police investigating a shooting that happened less than an hour ago. Officers responded to Laverne Street just before noon. Now, this is a picture from the scene. We're working to learn more information about that incident as well, and we will update you here on air and online as we learn more. We are also learning more about the investigation into TikToker Christopher Westbrook after he was arrested, accused of distributing child sex abuse materials. During a search last week, police seized a laptop, hard drive, and a cell phone from Westbrook's home, finding more than 700 photos of child sex abuse materials. Investigators claim files dating back to 2021 were linked back to Westbrook.
He was arrested last Friday by the Washington County Sheriff's Office on multiple charges of possessing sexually explicit material involving a child. There were numerous devices found, and search warrants were issued and then executed on those devices.
Westbrook has over 150,000 followers on the social media platform. In his videos, he claims to cook at a sorority house at the University of Arkansas. Later today, the city of Pine Bluff is holding a town hall to address a string of violence in the last few months. It's set to take place at the Pine Bluff Convention Center this evening at 6. Criminal justice professor David Kennedy is coming from New York to attend. Anyone is welcome to come and voice their thoughts and opinions. In California, tributes are pouring in for a woman who was killed by a man upset she had a pride flag outside of her store. Lori Carlton was a mother of 9 and the owner of a clothing store in Cedar Glen, about 60 miles from Los Angeles. As Elise Preston reports, friends are saddened and outraged that Carlton's show of support was seemingly answered with hate.
The pain palpable as community members comfort each other outside the store where owner Lori Carlton was gunned down Friday. Close friend Robin Lyles is still in disbelief.
We're all feeling extreme anger, sadness, and love for Lori and what she was to this community.
Carlton was shot and killed after deputies say the shooter yelled homophobic slurs and tore down a pride flag hanging outside her shop. Another close friend tells CBS News by phone Carlton exchanged words with the man and went back into the store, and that's when he shot her. The gunman then fled on foot.
When the deputies attempted to contact the suspect, a lethal force encounter occurred. The suspect was struck by gunfire and succumbed to his injuries at the scene.
In what appears to be shooter Travis Ikaguchi's account on X, formerly known as Twitter, the 27-year-old posted multiple messages against the LGBTQ community, including a pin post showing a pride flag on fire.
This is still an active and ongoing investigation, and detectives continue to investigate Ikaguchi's motivation and the circumstances surrounding this event.
LGBTQ advocates in the community say Carlton was a strong ally.
Being a straight white woman, it wasn't what she needed or wanted for herself, it was for others. It was very selfless.
What is her legacy?
To not allow hate to win.
Elise Preston, CBS News, Cedar Glen, California.
The cleanup continues for residents in Southern California hit by Tropical Storm Hillary. Deep layers of mud that swept into neighborhoods is making it difficult for crews to deliver supplies, while some cars and trucks that were swept away by the raging waters remain stuck. The remnants of Hillary have moved up the west coast, bringing heavy rains to the Pacific Northwest. And President Biden visited Maui on Monday and promised the federal government will help for as long as it takes for the Hawaiian island to recover from the deadly wildfires, including at least $8.2 million in relief and $3 million in rental assistance have already been handed out. More than 110 people died, and the historic town of Lahaina was 80% destroyed. Residents have expressed disappointment in their response since the fire about 2 weeks ago, saying it's been slow and insufficient. And wildfires continue to spread throughout the country, including here in Arkansas. Drier weather promotes higher chances of fires. 7 counties are currently under burn bans. Ashley Godwin takes us to Watson Chapel, where they just dealt with wildfires for the first time this season.
It's been the first day in a while that we've had 2 woods fires at the same time.
Watson Chapel is under a wildfire danger.
Monday afternoon, they got a call for 2 brush fires. One of those was off Sorrells Road near the railroad tracks.
It's unknown how it started.
So we're about where we would normally be.
Robert with the Department of Agriculture says this year has been pretty typical for wildfires in Arkansas, and this is about the time we see the weather dry out. But this comes after last year where Arkansas saw a higher than average number for wildfires.
It was the most active year we'd had in a long time.
Watson Chapel was one of those areas that saw significant fire threats. People evacuated from their homes, but thankfully there was no structure damage.
I've been doing this for 20 years, and last year is the worst as far as having to evacuate people and it threatening houses that I've ever dealt with.
That's why the fire department is preparing and hoping the people at home prepare too.
Just a tiny spark from anything will cause it to go out of control, and then before you know it, we got a 100-acre fire we're dealing with.
Ashley Godwin, THV 11 News.
Now, some of those 7 counties under a burn ban are White, Nevada, Faulkner, and Chico. You can find the full list on THV11.com. And with those hot and dry temperatures, you may be looking for ways to cool down. After the break, how to avoid AC problems and how the city is helping. Nathan?
Jurnee, we've got blistering sunshine all across central Arkansas, and we are going to be broiling out there for our Tuesday afternoon. Let you know how hot it's going to get. Talk about some relief in my 7-day forecast and our next best chance of rain coming up next.